Today on the American Truck Podcast, Batman Arkham VR is coming to the PC, Yooka-Laylee's release is impending, Twitch supports higher resolutions, and Hearthstone is about to get some updates. Hello and welcome to the American Truck Podcast with Andrew C.
And Jefferson B.
And Freelance Gamer.
You know, I just noticed something. We always try to sound like shock jocks at the beginning of each episode. And then Kyle comes in and is just like, I'm Freelance Gamer.
Yeah, I'm not doing the shock jock thing.
Hi, ho, ho there. Freelance the Gamer here.
How you doing?
Freelance the Gamer.
Oh, no, I was making you sound like Kermit the Frog, but okay.
I'll take that too.
But speaking of numbers, Destiny, which I am sticking to. That's my guns, I'm sticking to it. Coming out in September 8th to be specific. Am I the only one who kind of wants to, purchase one of the higher end pre-orders?
Nope.
I don't really want to purchase the game. I think Destiny is a great game, but I just don't have the want to play that style of game. That's
fair. I don't know. I'm debating over just the pre-order in general, because part of me just wants the game, and the expansion pass is probably worth it. Sure. But it's interesting because like most other games that have done this tiered pre-order system, there's a $99 tier where you get a really sweet book that's got a metal case to it. What was it? Halo. One of the Halos did this, where they had.
Halo 2 had a collector's box that was metal and whatnot.
I want to say Reach,
and then Halo 3 had a helmet.
Yeah, 3 did the helmet. Reach, yep. I want to say, did a really nice hard metal case, and it's something similar to that. Is what you're looking at.
Makes sense. I mean, Bungie is Bungie still, so.
Yeah, and it's backstory, and it's lore, and it's fun, and I get that. The higher tier, I want to say, includes a bag, like a messenger bag, and a whole bunch of other just really great swag and really great world building. And I get that, and I like the idea of it, but I also realize that I will probably look at it for about 2 weeks and then stick it in a corner somewhere.
And it'll be useless.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually serve any purpose. I mean, the game itself technically doesn't serve a purpose because it's only entertainment. So the nihilist in me is saying that. But it's also at least you can play the game.
Right.
Playing with a statue is a little bit weird.
I mean, if it was
put it on your desk at work.
If it was an Emmy, you'd play with that.
Okay, that's different. That is a whole other ball game when it comes to Emmys.
Yeah,
see, exactly.
Or even a Kids' Choice Awards blimp. Yes.
That would
that actually doubles as a kaleidoscope.
Or the what's the one that has the surfboard? Is it the Teen Choice Awards? Maybe.
I think you're right. I think it's the MTV Teen Choice Awards.
But it's something like that. But yeah, you get the surfboard and you can go surfing with your award.
Is it big enough for you to get surfing?
Oh, it's a legit full-size surfboard.
Oh, I thought it was a small little statue of a surfboard.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the full thing.
Oh, I don't know if I'd want that award. I mean, storing trophies is hard enough. Storing a whole surfboard?
Yes, because you have an entire room of trophies, Jeff.
This is true.
My room is kind of the room that I host everything in, so it is not only the room of trophies, but also my library, my office, my game design studio, my bedroom, and sometimes my kitchen.
This is where it's a problem when you win multiple of those things. You're like, where do I put all these surfboards? I have a storage unit full of surfboards that I won.
Right. Oh my goodness! You compost them. That's what you do.
You compost them. You really would, because I don't think they would fit in the San Francisco garbage cans. They're not that large. They're pretty small garbage cans. So.
Because they expect you to compost it all.
Right, exactly. They expect you to recycle and compost.
It's weird though, because I'm kind of torn. Going back to the whole Destiny thing, part of me definitely just wants it on a PC because I actually own my PC is mine. And I have my Steam Link, and I have very high hopes that it would just work, and it'll be great. But I'm just not certain if I want any of the shinies to go with it. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on non-digital game content?
I'm a little less interested in it for the reasons that you mentioned about having to what am I gonna do with a Destiny bag or a Destiny statue or a Halo helmet? Stuff like that. I don't really have any need for. So, and it's just like you said, one more thing to collect dust in the closet with your awards and surfboards.
All of my stuff that's gaming related is at work. All my poros, all my little things, stuff I got from like the WoW stores.
I want to say, like, for me, like if it was like, so I love what the amiibo did. So just to take that for example, like that is a collectible that is on a shelf, but it also does something. So like I kind of almost would want if if you got a statue in the game, like out of game, but it was of like the armor set that you got for as a pre-order bonus. You know, like just something that ties it and is more than just like the external lore bits. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe in a way.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, if it had some kind of in-game function, but
Yeah, or like some value to it, or even if it was just like if it was a mobile game, which I don't know why you'd pre-order a mobile game, or if it was like a game with a mobile app component, sort of actually kind of like what Fallout 4 did, where you could get the
Pip-Boy edition.
Yeah, you could get the Pip-Boy that you could throw your phone into, and you know, I don't know if there was a solid companion app that allowed you to like look at your stats.
There was
From the game in.
Yeah,
like there was that tieback.
Yep. Yeah, it connected back
like
to
that.
it.
That makes sense, you know, or you know, those games that have those companion apps that I'm not sure how I feel about. That's another topic of discussion for another day. So I'm torn, but I mean, at bare minimum, I'm gonna get this game because I've been meaning to upgrade my graphics card anyway, and my storage. It's time for another round of PC upgrades. If anything, just to play Destiny.
There you go. I mean, it is nice that it is coming to the PC this time, so you know, it doesn't have that whole. Well, I didn't buy a Xbox One or a PS4 because I'm a PC Master Race member here.
Right.
So,
two things to that. The number one is that Destiny is doing something really right, and that is it's a reboot of the story. So if you play Destiny the first, you know, more power to you. Bang on you. Go have fun. It's great. Destiny 2 exists in a totally separate world. So you don't need to have prior Destiny 1 experience to get into Destiny.
And it should be a unique experience for those who have.
Right. And I mean, that's great. I hope that it is. The second thing to that, though, is that for all of the people who have invested all this great time in a game that has, you know, historically been promising us years of great content and has delivered, it's a little bit rough because now you have to kind of rebuild yourself from scratch.
Right. I did see that as a comment about this coming up as a new game.
Yeah.
You know.
My hope is that as a PC player, my PlayStation 4 wielding brethren will be able to fight alongside me in the thick of it.
That seems unlikely.
It might be. I also know that if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Bungie. Because they're the ones that have the resources.
Still feel like it's unlikely, but that's not for us to decide. That's for some smart people in a room with money to decide.
Yeah, but it's not about the tech.
I've got a little bit of money.
Checkbook.
Yeah, exactly. So, but moving right along here, we got some other news to cover. But here we've discovered, of course, that Batman Arkham VR is going to be coming to PC. Apparently, it was originally supposed to be exclusive to PS4, but it's coming our way. Yeah, so it is coming to PC as well as it's already supposed to be on the PS4. But it's going to be available with the Oculus and the Vive headsets, and it's also going to be able to use, so in addition to the Touch and Vive controllers, you can also use it with a PS4, Xbox One, Steam controller, or whatever you fancy. You know, so if you haven't paid for the extra controllers for your headset, then you can use what you already have.
Part of me is really interested in this just because I don't know how much extra developer time it takes, but that is a lot of control schema combinations. And the fact that they were able to develop for specifically Oculus and Vive, and I mean, I'm assuming they both work co-equal to one another. So I'm kind of wondering, like what does that take? And if so, is this going to be how we push VR to that next level? And that is making everything cross-compatible with everything else.
I would certainly hope so, because that has been my gripe / complaint with everything VR here has always been that exclusives don't make things better.
Right.
It just ties you down to a platform that you may or may not like or own.
And that's kind of my thing, where it's like Vive has the really great back end of Steam, and they have, so by most estimates, they have the better opticals. But the Oculus Touch controllers are some of the best that I've ever seen when it comes to user input. So it's, I don't know, and it's hard because then you have guys that are like you said, they cannot afford to get that extra, what is it, like $200 extra to get just the touch to track both your hands in virtual.
Right.
So I mean, just this way you're reaching out to the guy who picked up an Oculus DK1 because it was on sale, quote unquote, at like the used electronics store. Because I've been that guy, didn't buy it, but I had that opportunity.
Been there, considered that.
Yeah, been there, thought that. It has the potential to happen.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
for those who have just goggles, it gives them an opportunity. Maybe that is what gets you fully into VR, is by being able to have these, like, I almost want to call them gap bridging games.
Yeah, that might be fair.
Plus, it's Batman.
But it's Batman Arkham, so who knows how
It
that's
is.
going to go.
It is, but it's Batman Arkham on a new platform.
Very
technically.
true. Very true.
I'm curious. My interest has been piqued. I look forward to the Let's Plays.
Indeed. Something else that you should be looking forward to is the Yooka-Laylee release that comes out on Tuesday, and it has actually already been reviewed by tons and tons and tons of the video game reviewing people who get access to stuff like this early, and the reviews are mixed. It's kind of, there's some good aspects, there's some bad aspects. Most people that I've seen have agreed that it is a little bit of the entire mechanics of Banjo-Kazooie and everything, but with modern graphics.
I'm okay with that.
So-
That's kind of what a lot of the people, when they did the Xbox one, the Banjo and Kazooie 3D or whatever the hell that was called.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
And we got Lego cars from when I was 8 years old.
Right.
I will gladly take, hey, it's the same game, just better graphics and some variations. Like I know they did some, like, there's like new maps obviously, and different characters. So,
Yeah, so I mean, as long as you understand that and know that and are fine with that, then you probably will like this game. If you went in to the hype train expecting that it was going to be something different than that, then you're going to be probably disappointed, and you're probably going to be one of the people who give it a not as good review as others. So
I'm sort of wondering what percentage of the population, though, goes into a game that is obviously homage to the puzzle collecting genre of their childhood and expects something that isn't a great puzzle collecting game. Like, what type of individual goes into a game that is clearly, like, almost, bar none clearly,
well, I guess
tribute, and expects something that's not a tribute?
the bigger problem, from what I gathered, was it was more game mechanic issues that existed in the old game that have been basically recreated in this one as almost maybe like a gimmick of it. Like, one of the things that Banjo-Kazooie was well known for was how terrible its camera was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a platformer, and the camera's kind of really important to the platforming, and it was terrible. And all of the reviewers have said, like, I'm pretty sure all 5 reviews that I checked out before recording agreed that the camera was terrible in this game. So
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing that I could kind of agree with. And the other thing is to touch on the earlier thing that Jeff was bringing up, which is, if you're going into this expecting one thing, and it's like this is an old style of game. This is not. It'd be like playing a point and click adventure similar to Monkey Island, right? That game, those type of games are made, but they don't reach the popularity they once did. And I feel like we're kind of just seeing that with the puzzle collecting side. and it's nostalgic and great. But I don't know about you guys. To me, I think nostalgia is awesome. But 90% of the time, after I start playing something I was nostalgic about, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah.
Like I play it for a little bit, a couple hours.
Right, you get
But
the
I
hit, you
generally-
get the high, and then it's kind of like what next?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what's new? What are you going to throw at me that changes up my perspective on things? Granted, by that point, and not to sound cynical, but you've already purchased the game at that point.
Yes, you're correct.
So I mean that's part of the gig is, you know, you're making money off this. I want developers who make good games to make money. Like that is something I will push for. But yeah, no, I totally see your point where it's like, what do I do? Like if I don't want to finish the game, like if that's something that happens to me, I don't know if that necessarily makes a purchase purely on the basis of nostalgia worth it.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's a hard question to answer. I think especially as now we are coming on to what I would consider, quote, Gen 2 of gamers, where gamers are now birthing gamers in a literal way. So nostalgia is a real thing, you know? So now that's a problem that we have to tackle going forward. And so I'll
That's
be
very
interested
true.
to see, like, what do we do now with these nostalgia titles?
Right.
Well, hopefully we don't pillage them.
I hope not. I want them to continue. I want them to succeed. I want to make that clear. But I also want them to be more than just my hit of dopamine for the day.
Right. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that, and I know that the good doctor did buy that game for pre-order, so we will probably hear something at minimum if we don't see anything from him about that. But moving along here, we do have some information about Cities Skylines. We talked about in the past that it was coming to the Xbox One, and I wasn't entirely sure how that was going to really work, just because of the control scheme. And it does now have a release date of April 21st, and it is going to include the After Dark DLC, and you'll be able to get all of that for $40, which is not terrible.
I was just about to ask, is that a good price for this game, just as the game, like not even considering platforming?
It really isn't terrible. I mean, I want to say that's pretty similar to what the PC costs, if not cheaper. And of course, it's got a DLC built into it, so that's normally like I think that was a $10 DLC. So at minimum, it's $10 cheaper because you don't got to buy that DLC. And I mean, by the time you start adding the DLCs up, if you buy them all at release time, this is about $70-$80 game at this point.
Okay,
and it is getting more expensive as DLC comes out, of course. So.
It's true. All right. Well, I'll be interested to see then when it finally does release, like how do they tackle the problem of
Controls.
Small controller, big controls.
Yep, that will be very interesting to see. But another thing that is very nice to see happening here is some updates to the Twitch streaming systems. One of the things that Twitch has not really had, that probably was the kind of advantage to using YouTube streaming, was that you really couldn't do 1080p streaming. Obviously you could stream at 1080p, but the stream really couldn't take advantage of it. And you also couldn't do 60 frames per second at 1080p, obviously. And so they've added that now to Twitch. You can now stream 1080p 60 frames per second with a max bitrate of up to 6 megabits per second. The previous limit was 3.5 megabits per second, so just a little shy of doubling it, which is very good to see.
Yeah, this is Twitch definitely making full use of that Amazon AWS backbone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had no qualms with this. I think it's always a struggle to balance the correct upload and then download features. So my hope is that the Twitch client itself, client side, is smart enough to figure out, okay, who's on DSL and can't do that, and just wants quantity over quality of frame.
Right.
Who's on a T1 and wants all the shinies. And I mean, that's something I know at least early on, Twitch as a client really struggled with. So I
The-
hope that that's something that they're also improving
The-
alongside the content creator side of things.
Right. The biggest problem with Twitch streaming in general is scale. If you are a partner on Twitch, you get what are called quality options. And that's where your stream goes into their servers and actually gets retranscoded by their servers and given back to the viewer in whatever quality format they want. So if you have poop internet and you need to watch in 144p, you can go and select 144p and you'll get that. Or if you need just an audio only stream or whatever, that is stuff that you can select. But if you're not a partnered streamer, you really didn't have access to that ever. If you started to get bigger, if there was transcodes available, you might get it for a stream or two, but it wasn't a widespread thing.
There was no guarantee because you didn't have that privileged partner status.
Exactly. Now, since the Amazon purchase, they have started to put more transcoding abilities in for non-partnered smaller streamers. So this functionality is slowly becoming more and more available to the average Twitch streamer who hasn't became big yet, maybe who is average size but not quite at the high enough level to become partnered yet.
One might say up and coming.
Up and coming would be a great way of describing it. So that's been a big issue for people where, hey, I want to stream at 1080p, but I'm not partnered yet, so I'm actually hurting some of my viewers because they can't reliably stream that.
Right. And that if you want a channel to grow, the best thing to do is give them resources.
Right, exactly.
Like that's how you as the content media system, the content management system, that's how you empower small channels, is you give them great tools and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's my philosophy. At least I recognize the fact that there are others that do not share that. It is what it is.
Absolutely. I would agree with you on that one. It's a lot easier if you have the resources to do stuff to gain more resources over time.
Yeah.
So, and it is official that Twitch game streaming or game purchasing thing that we talked about in the past, that is starting to roll out now. So if you go on Twitch and you were to look up, a popular game, you would see a purchase page now available. So
All right.
that is
Look out
rolling out slowly to everyone's channels, but it is available in the grand scheme of things as a platform. So definitely interesting to keep up with that. One last thing here from me is the Fallout Shelter is now on Steam proper. You no longer have to use the special launcher that it had before. And so coming with that, you also get Steam achievements and whatnot, and all the glorious Steam cloud stuff that you get by being a Steam title. So if you have a phone that you've been playing this game on and you really hate playing on the phone and you didn't want to use that proprietary app, you can now just go to your Steam content.
It wouldn't be content.
It could be your content.
Yep. And to throw in as like a last bit of news, this week there's actually a lot of things changing in Hearthstone. New packs should be out. I believe today's Tuesday, so tomorrow the 5th, i.e. Wednesday. And the reason I actually believe that now versus the beginning of the show is this is an actual thing. You can no longer buy the Grand Tournament packs because those are getting rotated out of Standard. So by the time you do this, you can no longer get those.
I mean, at least you're not buying them and then can't use them, so you won't be like.
If you have them, you can open them. Yeah.
Sure, but you won't be salty if you like bought them and then they rotated out of Standard.
Right, exactly. And then the new pack, Journey to Unguro, should be out tomorrow if that's correct on my end. And then if you logged in on Wednesday, you got a free gold card, i.e. if you log in tomorrow, whatever, however that works. And we are losing, just to make sure anybody who hears this knows and hasn't played Hearthstone, because you might just play it on your phone. I do that a lot on the bus. Blackrock Mountain, the Grand Tournament, and League of Explorers are all rotating out of Standard. And there are many cards from the Classic set that are leaving. Stealth, Power Overwhelming, Ice Lance, Azure Drake, Sylvanas Windrunner, and Ragnaros. And Blizzard, since they early said when they first started the Standard thing, saying, look, we're not going to get rid of anything in the Basic or Classic set, they are. But what they're doing to compensate for that is you get the full dust value of the card back. So if you have a gold Ragnaros, you get 3,200 dust for that card. And they don't get rid of the card, you get to keep the card. You just get the dust as a we screwed up. But it only gives you the highest value one you have. So if you have a regular Ragnaros and a golden Ragnaros, you will only get 3,200 for your gold one. You will get nothing for your regular one.
Rip.
So they're giving you the highest value, the max amount that you could have in a deck, basically. Because if you had 6 golden Ragnaroses, that'd be ridiculous. If they were just like, yeah, here, have all this dust. It's like, all right, cool. I own not even a tenth of the game, but whatever. So yeah, those are moving out. And is there anything else? I think those are the only ones that I can remember. I think that is it. But yeah, and then we're getting dinosaurs, man. I'm really excited for dinosaurs. I am so excited for dinosaurs. It's ridiculous.
So, anecdote: I logged into Hearthstone today, right before recording, just because Freelance was like, "Hey, log in, get the free pack," and I was like, "All right, no problem. Takes me 10 minutes, whatever," because I had to update a whole bunch. But I forgot how friendly of a game Hearthstone was.
It's good to see you back.
I mean, there's something about the voice of a Scottish man welcoming you into the tavern that just makes me really want to pick up and play. But I couldn't because IMGC told me I had to record this podcast instead.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because he's producer, and that's just how that works.
Yep. And we had delayed it quite a bit already. So.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you hit that like button down below. Perhaps also hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment down below about any of the news topics here. We might talk about you next week. And we will see you guys in the next one.